Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kayla. I know I've been MIA for a lot of months, but I'm gonna give y'all an update. So first of all,
I graduated from school.
I graduated from the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. Bachelor's of Science degree in Public Relations. So yes, literally 2 weeks after graduation, packed my stuff up, moved to Atlanta, Georgia. That's where I've been. And also earlier in the school semester, I was hospitalized for a good little amount of time. So I was, of course, struggling with that, trying to, bounce back with school to graduate on time. And that I did. God is great. God is good all the time. Okay? So that's where I've been. So this video is just to update you guys as to what I've been doing, where I'm at, and just giving some advice if you're thinking about moving to Atlanta, and things like that. So stay tuned. I feel like in Atlanta, you're gonna be around so many, not just people, but African-American people who look like you, who wanna do the same thing, which honestly, to me, is very reminiscent of HBCU culture, which I'll get into at another time. But it's just like, everyone who I've met here, like, they're so inspirational and it's just awesome. Saying in any other city you go to, you're not gonna meet like-minded people who are trying to do what you want to do. Because in Tallahassee, it was most definitely like that. In Jacksonville, most definitely like that. St. Augustine, Orlando, it's like that. Personally, I've expressed this before on my channel many videos ago. I currently have my own consulting firm. I have a registered LLC, and it's something I want to continue to grow on. Eventually one day I want it to be my main source of income. So I believe it was one night after the Lieutenant Governor's event, Black History Month event, I met this young lady. I just introduced myself to her because she was volunteering with Mr. Dortch, who was one of the coordinators of the event. So I was just talking to her and she was telling me about herself, and eventually I met two of her other friends who also came to help volunteer for the evening. So after, we all just got along really well. We all went out to dinner afterwards, and I found out we all have like the same goals pretty much. We're all into entrepreneurship. We all want to be self-sufficient, and I met this one girl specifically. She told me that she currently has a consulting PR firm pretty much, and she's doing literally the same exact things I want to do, and it's just crazy. Something else I've noticed out here in Atlanta is that there's a lot of cross-dressers. I think I was in Perimeter Mall one weekend and I saw a man.
You knew he was a man, like, he was a man.
He had on a purple wig, and he had a friend with him dressed in a similar fashion. They both had on dresses, tights, heels, and colorful wigs. And they're just walking through the mall. And honestly, like, there's something wrong with, expressing yourself, dressing a certain way to let people know this is what you identify with. Do you? Be happy. It's just a lot more prevalent and, I guess, accepted here. That's why there's so many people who are on the fence that come out here because they feel, they feel more accepted and comfortable, which makes perfect sense. Like, do your thing. Shoot. So especially working at the Capitol downtown, I see a lot of that. There will be certain House bills that will come up addressing like gender identity roles and things like that. And there'll be people who come and protest, and if that's the crowd, that's the crowd. So that's something I've also been exposed to a lot more out here in Atlanta. It's just gender fluidity, freedom of expression, do it to it. Another thing I've noticed out here in the wonderful ATL, a lot of people trying to be who they're not. Like, of course, people move out to Atlanta because they see it as a land of opportunity. As far as the entertainment industry goes, this is one of the better cities to be in the United States if you want, an industry, if you want a career in the entertainment industry and to do well. So that's why I noticed like a lot of my friends, they've had a hard time dating out here because, one, they're afraid that somebody isn't who they say they are on the gender scale, or they go one way but they really go the other way, Or the other issue is that, you know, people like to put on the front. They like to be someone that they aren't, which isn't good. As far as relationship goes, so when I first moved out here to Atlanta, I had just broken up with a boyfriend of mine. Now, mind you, this relationship I had with this young man, we dated for like 4 years. We knew each other in high school, dated in high school a little bit, and pretty much dated like off and on for 4 years in college. So mind you, our relationship had always been long distance. So when I got out here, I realized that I wanted something different, and to me something different was us being in the same city, and that still wasn't happening. He was still in school, he's still finishing up school, and I also, part of me wanted him to, you know, finish school, do what's best for him, figure out what he wants to do as far as employment goes, as far as football goes, things like that. So we were honestly in 2 different places, which wasn't an issue, but I just saw it as like, wow, we've been dating for almost 5 years, and we still never have lived in the same city except for like high school. But even in high school, he was like on the complete opposite side of town from me. He didn't even go to the same school as me. So you can understand that frustration. So when I got out here, that's when my dating journey began. Now, mind you, I've only been out here, it's April. I've been out here since January, so about like 4 months. But woo, it's been a little crazy.
I joined Tinder, like whatever.
I first moved out here, I was living with my cousin while I was looking for an apartment. Now, mind you, she's a little older, not older, she's middle-aged. She's in her early 40s. She just got married, just had a baby, you know, all that cutesy cute stuff. So, you know, I didn't have anyone to go out with. Of course, you know, I was meeting people from work still trying to fill people out, because, you know, you can't really hang out with all of your coworkers. But now I was just starting to get to know people who are my age, who work in the Capitol, things like that. So like early January, I didn't really have anyone to go out with necessarily like that. But I have a few cousins here. One of my cousins, she's 20, turning 21 soon. But she, you know, she works a lot, get that coin, get that money, do what you gotta do. So she, you know, isn't as available as what I would be on the weekends, because she works on the weekends, I don't. And I have another cousin who's like a little older than me, like in his later 20s. But anywho, so, you know, I still needed people to, you know, go out with, explore the city with. Yeah, I joined Tinder, kill me. But anyways, have any success with Tinder? No. I met this one boy off of you see I'm sitting on this like fuzzy pillow to help boost myself up, and there's a link all in the air. But I met this boy on Tinder. We were on a few dates. It was cool, but no, it wasn't going to work out, honey. So that was my Tinder experience. Mind you, shortly after, well, okay, let me rephrase that. So we were on a few dates, but that was it. Like, I wasn't feeling it. Also, like, I would say mid-January, there was this young man who DM'd me on Instagram. Now, mind you, when I get DMs, I don't even pay attention to them. I'll just look at them and be like, why, who are you? So that's what happened with this situation. Now, mind you, this young man, he had a blue check mark next to his name. But I didn't pay much mind to it, because I'm like, who are you? I don't know you. Next. Like, I wasn't that interested at first, to be real. So a few weeks passed, and I finally decided to reply, like, whatever. I replied to him finally after a few weeks. And we started talking, and eventually, you know, that led to phone number exchanges. We hung out, we went on dates. On my birthday, we went to a Hawks game, had courtside seats. On his birthday, we went out, did a little thingy thing. It was cool, like, we were having a good time, we were kicking it. So this relationship lasted for about a month and a half. He actually just left not too long ago to go back to his city he plays for at their location. Because as you know, at a certain time of the year, they go back, start, you know, training camp and ramp things back up for the year. What I figured out is that some people, ladies, is that they want to control you with money, influence, whatever it may be. Don't be someone who is easily controlled or influenced because of who someone else is and what you think they can do for you or what you want them to do for you. That's all I gotta say. And also, ladies, it's okay to be independent. This particular person, he didn't care for the fact that I could do things on my own without needing him. Like, there was a situation where my car was in the shop for like a few days. And he got mad I didn't tell him about it. But mind you, he was like out of town or something. And he was upset that I didn't tell him. Because he was like, oh, I will let you like use my car, use my Uber, whatever. But I didn't need any of that. Like, I was fine. Like, I feel like sometimes though, I am a little too self-sufficient. But this video isn't about me and my issues. It's just about my overall experience in Atlanta as of now. But yeah, so Atlanta's been good to you, girl, though. I've met so many awesome people. My job is amazing. If anyone is interested in a job in state or local government, I would say go for it, because honestly, the connections you make, the people you meet, it's most definitely worth it. So consider it. Even if your background isn't even in politics, you need to get your bachelor's degree, your master's, or whatever, in anything with politics. Just try it out. I've met a lot of awesome people, made a lot of great connections, which will lead me to even better jobs like moving forward. Because as you know, the legislative session is only a few months, like four months. So I currently have another job lined up after next week when session will commence. What I've noticed though, like the further up you go on the East Coast of the United States, the more raggedy the roads are. And I would say that because like I'm from Florida, and Florida is a tourist state, so therefore they make sure to keep up the maintenance with the highways and things like that. But there's so many potholes out here. Like, my poor little car is all off of equilibrium. Like, I don't know what to say. As far as finding apartments goes in Atlanta, it's ridiculous. I'm not even trying to compare it to anything. So I know, like, in New York, that's crazy. On the West Coast, that's crazier. So I'm not even trying to boo-hoo about that. But like where I live in now, I live in a studio apartment and I pay a good chunk of change. But I think part of that may be because of the area I live in. I live in Brookhaven, which is like a suburb of Buckhead, let's say that. So it's a little expensive, but I like the area though, so I'm comfortable in it. It makes me happy. So of course, when I get this new job, I may try and relocate and break my lease. I'm not sure yet. We'll see about that. But as far as finding apartments goes, you can find good apartments for reasonable, depending on what you think reasonable is. But there's so many different apartments. There's no reason why you can't find something that you like or think you like out here, because honey, there's so many different apartments. Of course, nightlife, there's a wide variety of things to do, such as like, you know, you go to a bar, go to a lounge, go to a club, you can go to art museum, go to any type of museum. My eye is retarded, oh my gosh. There's a whole bunch of different things you can do besides just clubbing. As far as nightlife goes, there's options for sure. So, and one other major adjustment I've had to make moving from Tallahassee, Florida, which is a smaller, you know, city in Florida. It's predominantly a college town because there's 3 major schools there. So there's not much there but the locals and the 3 schools, well, colleges at least. So I'm so used to everything being like 10 minutes away. Like, so I want to go to Walmart, easily 5 minutes away from my apartment complex. Say I want to go get something to eat. That's a good 2 minutes, depending on what part of town I'm on, depending on what part of town I'm in. So it's just an adjustment. Here in Atlanta, everything is like 30 minutes away. Like, I went to Juicy Crab yesterday. From my house, that was about 25 minutes. Crazy. And for me personally, where I live about 25-30 minutes away from work. It's just everything, everywhere you go, it's gonna take you about 20 minutes to get to, whether it just be traffic, whether it actually just be the distance. It's gonna take you a good few minutes. So make sure you leave your house at a decent time. Make sure your car is gassed up, shorty, because it's not fun. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for sticking around to watch. I'm most definitely going to be more consistent now that, you know, things have settled down with me. Things, you know, I'm more acclimated to my surroundings now. I'm more comfortable, you know. Most definitely going to be cranking out the content for y'all because I need to get back on my game for sure. But thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do your thing, and I'll see y'all next time.